Welcome everyone to level 343. This is Achievement Hunting 101. Now, if you know something about maths, you know that 343 is the cube of the number 7. And if you know the show, you know that we will not box you in with boring old achievement talk. I am ElroyOMJ and he is X the Hero. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, but now you have me wondering what a 7-sided box would look like.
Oh man, no, that's exciting. Probably like a pyramid?
Technically it has 4 sides if you count the bottom.
Yeah, but then you could come up in 3.
Or I guess it could be 5 too. I'm thinking like a 3-sided pyramid.
Yeah.
But I guess you can have a pyramid with any number of sides, technically, couldn't you? You just make a septagon and then yeah. All right. It's not a box though.
It's geometry.
So I stand by what I said.
I mean, it could be a rhombus, just because I wanted to say rhombus. So yeah. Yeah, man, it's been a while. So, I miss talking geometry with you and all that good stuff. What's new in your life these days?
Not much. You missed my review of Atelier Yumiya last week, and I gotta say, props to Joe, who actually knows JRPGs and was able to, give me a good back and forth and ask some questions and actually be interested in the game that I was doing a big fancy review for. So more props to Joe. And that was an unintentional diss to Elroy.
Are you saying that he did more than tell effing jokes? So
yeah, he did.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you found somebody that shares your love of that terrible genre.
Oof, rough, man. Speaking of my only updates are updates of the review. So, the podcast came out and it was still somewhat under embargo. I posted a Reddit review with what I could that got like 80,000 views and lots of upvotes. And I was the second review of the game posted on Reddit, the first user review. The other one was from Nintendo Life or Nintendo World or something like that. I forget which one. So I was sort of the first regular person to talk about the game publicly on Reddit. So that was kind of cool. I didn't know that was going to be, a thing to add to my resume. And then in the email that the publisher sent me, they basically said, like, you don't have to send us anything, but if you do, we'd love to check it out. So I sent a link to level 341 to not the publisher directly, but the guy who sent me, my email. Congrats, you're accepted. Here's your review code. Here's, the rules to follow. Blah blah blah. I just sent him the link, and I said, hey, I know you and the team are busy, but if you want to listen, here's the link. Here's my review. Starts about 7 minutes in. Blah 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 blah. All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually wrote back and said, I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for, the positive feedback on Atelier Yumiya. So that's kind of cool. Like somewhere, someplace, somebody somewhat involved with the game at least somewhat listened to our podcast review. So I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that worked out well all around. I got to play a cool game. I got to talk about a cool game, and people seem to like what I have to say about said cool game. So yeah,
That's
go
awesome.
buy Atelier Yumiya. It's awesome.
Are you gonna send him a link to this one with the update on it?
No, I assume he does not care about updates as much as you may enjoy sharing updates. Speaking of, it's been a month since we've heard your voice. You must have some updates.
Oh yeah, so I've been across the globe somewhat. Well, maybe not across the globe. It's actually not that
more
far.
Like up and down the globe.
Yeah, I just kind of went to I flew south for the late winter, and I have some Panama stuff for you. So for Panama, I tried to think of what would be some good stories to tell here. There's so many memories and whatnot, but I decided probably the awesome stuff, everyone could look at a travel thing for that. And I'm sure that you would prefer that I just share some, self-defecating ones. So the first,
wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes. So the first one is we had this end island flight where basically we were flying across Panama. So we started at Panama City, and then we were going to fly to David, and then basically David, but they make it sound cool. And then
How dare they?
right, and then we basically go up to Boquete, and that is where all the all
Don't you
the
mean
singers.
bucket?
Yeah, Baki ball there up there, but it yeah, so that was the plan, and we had all this luggage, and so to expedite our flight experience and travel, in country, we had a tour bus that was basically ours for the entire trip, and so the tour director decided to have us make like an overnight bag, and then we put all our stuff on the bus, and then we send it over ahead of schedule, and then when we get to the airport, we wouldn't have to mess with luggage, and we just fly through it, and then when we land, we wouldn't have to pick up our luggage or anything like that because it'd already be there waiting on us when we had landed. Yeah, good plan, right? So very convenient.
It sounds good on paper.
It does, right? Yeah. So what they failed to realize is that somebody in the group might make a terrible mistake. And that terrible mistake is that when they packed their suitcase, they put their passport in. They forgot to remove their passport from a secret compartment in a backpack that they weren't using as their primary backpack, and they put said backpack into their luggage that was then bussed across the country for their convenience. And as you may suspect, it is very challenging.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
to take a flight when you're missing said
no
passport. Right. So this unnamed individual realized their error at the airport as they were, checking in, and okay, it was me. And I mean, I've been so.
I was going to ask eventually, was this you or the student? Because it was a group of two.
Well,
the odds
we
are
were
50-50.
No, we were teamed up with another group. So,
all right.
yeah. So, if it had been one of the people in their group, I would be bad mouthing them and be talking about how stupid and what the heck is wrong with their instructor, couldn't get his crap together. And no, it was me, and it wasn't my students. It was me. I literally was the one that did this. And so
you're that guy.
I was that guy. And so we get in line, everyone's checked in, and I'm at the back of the line because I was go to the back and wait for my students to go first. And that way, if there's any issues, I'm not on the other side there. And so I tell our tour director, I'm like, we got a problem here. And so he tried to do his magic, tried to schmooze the ticket folks, and they're like, yeah, that's not happening.
I feel like there's no schmoozing.
That's
an international flight without a passport. I don't care.
Yeah,
if you have charisma level 100, man, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, that was it was a valiant effort. I appreciate his effort, but I knew I was doomed. And so he's just like, I mean, you're gonna have to take a bus, and we'll see you when you get there. And he's like, you're on your own, man. And I'm like, yeah, I can respect that. It's my mistake. So, so I had to figure out the public transportation system of Panama, and that was quite the adventure. And so I spent the day while everyone else got to enjoy the wonderful trip and all the action-packed adventures that were set for that day. They, got to do them without me, as I was on some the slow bus from Panama City to Davie. And oh my goodness, that was an experience. Let me tell you. So I could talk about it for a long time, but the highlight was where the bus all of a sudden decelerated really, really, really fast. And then I'm like, what's going on? And so I kind of look out the window, and I see like some dude holding a bunch of dead fish. And so the bus driver comes to a complete stop, jumps out of the bus real quick. The guy sticks the dead fish in a plastic sack and hands it to the bus driver, and he gives him some money, and then we're on our way. So we had a dead fish stop. That was interesting. I'd never seen that on public transportation before. So it was all in all just a great experience. I got to see a lot of Panama that nobody else will probably ever see. It was very interesting, the underbelly of Panama. But that was the first one. So that was wonderful thing that I did, number one. And then number two is appropriately named number two in the sense that we were told not to drink the water in the like real rural areas, I guess. Inside the city, like Panama City, is fine, even though it tastes like dirt. But yeah, the water situation is pretty bad over there. And so everything was fine until we got to this really small lunch stop where I ate some cow's lung and some other stuff. And I guess that was probably the mistake that I made. So I'm not sure what the Panama version of Montezuma's Revenge is, but I got the Panama's Revenge, and oh my gosh, that was brutal, man. And especially when you're on an action-packed adventure in a locale that doesn't exactly lend itself well to restrooms. And said location was Iguana Island. So we went to Iguana Island at the peak of my Panama's Revenge, and Iguana Island's like a 25 mile or minute boat ride to this remote island that has absolutely nothing on it besides like a lighthouse and a bunch of iguanas and a beach. That's pretty much it. And a bunch of birds too, but yeah, it's not named Bird Island. It's called Iguana Island because the iguanas are cool.
No one cares about the birds on Iguana
Right,
Island.
yes.
Come on.
Right. It's all about the iguanas. Yeah. So anyway, we're spending the day there, and there's a couple of paths you can take to kind of walk around the island, and there's a really easy path. And then I heard there was like this more challenging path, which was the rocky path. So I took my students on the easy path. They weren't wanting to do the fancy path. And so I decided, well, I like some adventure. I'll go do the rocky path by myself while they're doing some other stuff. And so I get on this like rocky path. I thought it was a rocky path. There was a lot of rocks, and so it's I got about, I don't know, it's about 3 hours until we're about to leave. And so, I just take it nice and easy, stroll down the rocky path. And I get about 30 minutes out, and I'm like, man, this is really challenging. I mean, it was just jagged rocks everywhere. Like, I mean, it was basically a shoreline with a bunch of rocks where nobody had been in a long time, apparently. And I'm like,
nobody takes the rocky path.
You're right. I was like, well, I guess it's, just really challenging. I guess some people don't mind almost, breaking their ankles and falling to their death. But, I kept going, and I don't know why. And about 30 minutes, I'm realizing, okay, yeah, I've kind of stepped in it at this point. And, it's like 30 minutes back, and I already know what that path looks like. And I'm like, well, maybe it gets better. And then, another 15, 20 minutes later, it's not getting any better. I'm basically walking the entire shoreline of the island, which is rocks, like big jagged rocks, and then there's like a little bit of beach every once in a while. And so I get about an hour. I'm like, got out there without with enough sun protection, so I'm burning up also at this point. And so I'm thinking to myself at this point, like, if I was to fall and break my neck, or fall and twist my ankle, break my leg or whatever, how long would it take someone to find me out here? Because like I was in such a remote area. I mean, there was nobody. And then it was about that time that Panama's Revenge kicked in. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it to wherever that, I'm just out here in the middle of nowhere. And so, I saw this giant toilet just keep washing in, and I'm like, all right, well, here we go. And so, yeah, I did some skinny dipping, and I fed the fishes in Panama. It was what can only be described as a very low point in my life, but it was so ridiculous. And,
Did you say you hit rock bottom on the rocky path?
I did hit rock bottom, yes. Oh gosh, I'm so bad. I mean, if anybody was watching that with binoculars or from wherever, they're probably like, what is going on? Because I'm sure that the whole, like, they see me like drop trouser, run into the ocean, cling to a rock, and then like the whole area around me turned brown for a short period of time. And then it's just so gross and nasty, and the whole thing was just terrible. But that was my wonderful adventure. Will never forget about Panama, is both the bus ride and then Iguana Island, and will always have a special place in my heart. So there you go. That is my two stories that I chose to share for Panama.
All right. Well, not to turn this into a bowel movement podcast, but when I was in Ecuador, I had a very similar experience. Nice. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because you were on Iguana Island. I was in Iguana Park in Guayaquil, Ecuador. and there was a little like roadside
Uh,
vendor, like a strip mall, but like open vendors, like flea
mhm.
market style, I guess. And
Yep.
one of them was making pizza,
Mm.
and
Innocent
I
enough.
saw ham and pineapple pizza, which I don't care if you don't like pineapple on pizza. I do. So
Mm.
I ordered the ham and pineapple pizza. My story is very similar. Luckily, I was able to use a bathroom. But the only reason I'm mentioning it is what are the odds that we both got sick in
Right, iguana.
iguana themed, South or Central American locations here?
Awesome. Yeah. Maybe other people are like,
Yeah,
wait a minute. I was on a iguana cove, and the same thing happened to me.
right.
No,
Damn iguanas.
I tell you. Oh man. Well, there you go.
I
So,
think I
and
think that's part of the travel experience, though.
it
Because
is
again,
that.
not to go into a BM podcast, but every international trip I've ever taken has resulted in some unpleasant bathroom encounters.
Well, there you go. That's the full experience. I think we both had the full
There you
experience.
go. That is the full international experience there.
Is
You say that with your pinky out there.
yeah, that's right. Shoot. Well, anyhow. Oh, and then my other update is Achievement Flex is still underway. We're getting registrations. We got a handful, and once I get some more time, I will update the website and be adding more to it. I'm just too busy right now. I am at the peak of things right now. So I gotta get the yearbook turned in. Once I get that turned in, my time really opens up, and then I have a student trip. Once I get that done, man, it's just soccer at that point. So yes, there you go. So sign up if you're thinking about coming, and hope to see you there.
And when is that again? When is Achievement Flex?
It is July 26th through the 29th. No, 24th through the 20 something, 27th. Golly, I can't even think, man. My brain's just overloaded
I
today.
asked you because I couldn't remember. I
I think
expect
it's
you to
24.
remember.
I think it's 24th through the 27th. Yes, 24th through the 27th. That's it.
All right, I was
Lord
about to
have
pull up
mercy.
the calendar and
That's bad if I don't know, but man, I'm telling
right.
you, I've had a week.
He'll be there. He
I'll be
will
there.
be there. The
I'm
classroom will be set up when you show up to
yes.
Achievement Flex.
Oh yes.
It will be okay.
Right. And I should have some new furniture by then. So I'll be putting some pictures of the concept art out there at some point soon. So it's pretty cool looking. And you'll get to see the new stuff before the students all destroy it. Anyhow,
Isn't that the truth?
but what wonderful game do you have for us today? I am sure that you are just splitting at the seams to give us something good here.
Haha, that was fun and kind of a spoiler, but not really because if anyone read the show notes, they already know what game I'm talking about. So that was good. I
Okay.
went the full circle of emotions right there. So I am talking about Split Fiction. That's been ruined. I had this nice little introduction. I was gonna
Oh
lead
no,
into it.
did I
I
crap
had it
on
up
it
on my
like
phone, ready to read. Never
yeah,
mind then.
I crapped
All
on
right,
it
so
like it was Iguana Island.
yes, we're Iguana Park. Okay, so Split Fiction. If you watched the Game Awards 2024, when the heck was that? December 12th, 2024. This game was announced. Josef Fares gave a very memorable, for lack of a better term, speech to introduce the game on behalf of Hazelight Studios, who has made similar games that perhaps we are familiar with. I don't. When I say we, I don't mean you, Elroy. Maybe you have played them, but I don't know. You can't really play these with a stuffed rhino. So they made A Way Out, which is mandatory two-player co-op that you absolutely could not do yourself. Someone's going to prove me wrong on that. They also made It Takes Two, same deal, mandatory co-op. You could not do that one by yourself. And now Split Fiction is their next game. If I'm not mistaken, I might be. They also had something to do with brothers, right?
The two-tailed thing.
Yeah, okay. It was the Josef Fares was his old studio, I guess, made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. And then he made a new studio, Hazelight, blah 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 blah. So
Mhm.
anyway, Split Fiction is the newest game, and well, I see you haven't played it yet. Have did you play A Way Out or It Takes Two? Like, are you remotely familiar with what I'm talking about?
I think, yeah, I'm familiar with the co-op game where you have to work together and all that. I have not played A Way Out. I was saving it for a contest because it's like a real easy points. And what was the other one? It Takes Two.
It
Uh,
too.
I think this is the game. Oh yes. So this game I have played this one. There was a brief moment where my lovely wife, bless her heart, thought that we might play video games together, and she was trying to take an interest in my hobby, and so she wanted to play video games with me that night. And so I was like, "Wow, there's all these cool co-op games out there where you have to play together." Blah blah blah. Oh my goodness! So we tried. I still don't have an unlock on it.
Oh my
Fortunately,
god. Okay,
fortunately,
I was gonna say yeah, you're
fortunately.
not on my friends list of having played it.
Yeah, so fortunately, I got off easy on that in the sense that because there's no way I was gonna be able to complete this with her. She is not good at video games. She could not do any of these tasks, like just basic stuff like jumping across a canyon or whatever, or you have to time the jumps. What would end up is I would move ahead, and then like I'd hand her my controller, and then I would take her controller and catch it up with my controller. And I was just like, she was just holding a controller for me basically at some point, and I was just like, because she would get so frustrated. Anyway, so it was cool. I enjoyed the concept. I am familiar with It Takes Two, so if it's similar to that, then I kind of know where you're going with this. So
Okay, awesome. So I will come back to that detail in a little bit. So first thing I want to actually I take it back. I'll just dive right in. If you're familiar with It Takes Two, you are familiar with Split Fiction. The gameplay is pretty much identical. And I don't mean that in a bad way because I loved It Takes Two. But every level sort of has its own gimmick. You have, the one level is like jet skis and like air bikes, and then the next level, one of you is a gorilla and one of you is like a forest spirit, and then the next level becomes a
mm,
third-person shooter, and then the next level is a Metroidvania like side-scrolling platformer. Like it mixes up the gameplay. It is all done very well, honestly. I have zero complaints with the gameplay.
mhm.
They knocked every style out of the park. Um, but I guess in my notes, I would say, like, what's new if it's like a sequel? It doesn't bring anything new to the table, I guess would be like my one criticism. It's basically It Takes Two, completely different, plot line and universe and characters, but it's kind of the same game. But again, I don't mean that as a bad thing because I thoroughly enjoyed the heck out of It Takes Two. So, make of that what you will. If you want more of that game, you got more of that game, right? So, Kelsey, this is going back to my introduction now. We watched it at the Game Awards, and she was so excited. She put it on the calendar, kind of like you were saying with your wife. Wants to take an interest in your hobbies.
Mhm.
Kelsey will play games with me. We enjoy finding cats. We played through all the Gears of War together, right?
That's
But
quite a range there.
I know that's the wildest thing, and I've talked about that before, right? But she's not really a gamer. She plays with me. She likes watching me play,
Mm.
but she liked It Takes Two so much that she put Split Fiction on the calendar.
Oh wow.
Asked me like incessantly, "Have you pre-ordered it? Have you pre-ordered it?" So that when she got home from school on March 6th, that's when it came out. I had it downloaded and ready to go, and we could play it on release day. Never in her life has she been excited for a video game on release day. So
Wow.
that's funny that Kelly is never going to play this one with you, and
Oh well, no, it's
uh,
more like I'm never going to play it with Kelly. Is
oh shoot, it goes the other way around. Huh?
no, bless her heart, she was trying. It was cute, but yeah, yeah, it's not her thing.
All right. Well, Kelsey and I have a running gag from It Takes Two. You have a double jump and a dash. So really, it's like a triple
Mm.
jump, and you have to use that because you'll jump, double jump, dash, and then you have to use your grappling hook. So that's three different buttons. That's
Oh
A
god, there's
A
no
X
way I've
right
ever
bumper.
played this with her.
Right.
No
So it
way.
took Kelsey a long time to master that. So I was teasing her up into the lead up of Split Fiction, like, you're gonna have to double jump, dash, and grappling hook. But man, she is a pro. The muscle memory from 4 years ago has been retained,
Nice.
and she's a rock star. And honestly, I think we've both died or messed up an equal amount of times. So I am playing this with, I'm saying this loudly, maybe she hears, a fully competent gaming partner. And I
Nice.
do think that goes a long way in your
Oh,
enjoyment
yes.
of the game.
I'm
If
sure.
you are, yeah, if your partner is just holding the controller and you're doing everything, I don't think you're gonna have a good time.
I can vouch for that, yes.
Yeah. So again, gameplay wise, it has all the genres. It takes two, right? Like I said, the plot and characters obviously are what's new, so I can dive into that a little bit. I'm gonna spoil the intro movie basically. I won't go
Mm,
beyond that. You guys know I don't like spoiling plot details, especially not on new games.
mm.
Spoiler alert for the first hour, right? If that, actually not even the first hour, the first half an hour at most. So don't scrub forward if you plan on playing it, right? It's all good. So anyway, it's called Split Fiction. Why? At the beginning of the game, there is a meeting from a publishing studio calling in unpublished fiction authors. Aha, right? There's
Mm.
half of the title, and they basically said like, "Hey, we have this cool new invention. It'll help you get published. We'll give you lots of money for your stories, and here's what it is. Put on this like Tron looking suit and hop in this water sphere." And everyone is like, "Okay, this isn't weird at all. Let me do this." And then the one character, Mio, is like, "Yeah, this is a little weird. I'm not doing this." And she's the only one that has any red flags about what's going on. And short version is they're putting you in this bubble and then they are stealing your ideas. And the story is not mind blowing. Again, that's all in the first half hour, the opening movie.
Right.
The publisher stealing your ideas, right? But in the opening movie, since Mio's like, "No, I'm not doing this," she gets into a little scuffle and ends up getting knocked into the other character, gets knocked into Zoe's aquasphere. I honestly don't know what to call it. Um, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, like these aren't designed to have two people in them. It's so And that is why it is split fiction, because Mio is a sci-fi writer and Zoe is a fantasy writer. So the levels alternate between one sci-fi level with various mechanics and then a fantasy level with
Mm.
varying gameplay mechanics. And you go back and forth, and then there's little I don't even want to call it a hub, because that gives the wrong idea. There's a little main area in between each level that gets you to the next level. Some of them it's just a cutscene. Some of them you do actually have to play in this little transition area.
Mhm.
But the focus, right, just like It's Take Two, is on the platforming. At its core, it's a 3D platformer, and then it throws all the other mechanics in.
Mhm.
So that's as much as the plot as I will talk about. But again, you have the choice to play between Mio and Zoe. I am Mio, and then Kelsey is playing as Zoe. You can switch at any time. It doesn't matter. That doesn't affect the achievements. We're just sticking with one character to, be immersed in that character the whole time. But you don't need to. I don't remember if you could switch in the other games in the middle of a playthrough. Even if you could, we wouldn't have, but you can here for whatever that's worth. And the achievements in this game, I think actually,
Mhm.
Elroy, if you pull up the achievement list, you'll get a kick out of just the names. So
All
one of
right.
the other gameplay mechanics is as you go through the main levels, there's 6 or 7 main levels. I forget, to be completely honest. Within each level, they call them the side stories, and those are other ideas that the author, either Mio or Zoe, had that it's not fully fleshed out. Like the main level is you're playing a fully fleshed out novel of theirs, right? But then the side stories are like short stories. So
I like these
I was gonna
achievements.
say, yeah, I see you looking at the just the achievement names are fun.
They
So
are.
the achievements, like the other games, are there's only one that you're gonna get actually if you play through the game and don't do any of the optional stuff.
Mhm.
If you just beeline it straight through, there's one achievement just for completing the story. It's 150 gamer score. Right now it's 1.79 ratio. I assume that'll come down because it's still a fairly new game. But that's it. If you just zip through, you're going to get 150 gamer score and one achievement. Everything else comes from, do all the side stories, find all the collectibles. And by collectibles, there's benches. It's paying tribute to Brothers, where you sit on the bench at the end. or the beginning. I forget actually. It's been a while since I played that one. And I think A Way Out had a bench achievement too, but this
I
one's called Sisters: A Tale of Two Besties.
I think that it would probably be at the beginning because I don't think two brothers would be sitting on the bench at the end.
That's why I retracted that. I guess spoiler alert there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
do the
clearly.
caveman. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, man. Um, there's you one of the side stories is a game show. I'm not going in any real order here, don't worry. One of the side stories is a game show where you have to throw a bomb, and if you hold it for like 10 seconds, it'll explode. So you have to go through the platforming while throwing the bomb back and forth. And if you can do that with no one dropping a bomb and making it explode, that's cold potato. Ha, ha, ha. You
Yeah.
know, but they're all fun. They're all whimsy. There's one where you become pigs and you go through a barn, and then if you jump on a giant pig, he lets out a giant fart, going whole hog for making this giant pig fart.
And the achievement art for that is very nice. Huh?
Yeah, I figured that one would catch your eye for sure.
Yeah,
In
well,
this in
I
the
didn't
same level,
I didn't know what it was until you told me, but now it makes sense.
the
Like, if you look at
description
it
is
out
let
of
it rip.
right, but if you look at it out of context, you're like, "Wait, what is
Oh, just this giant green gas cloud.
well, and there's, like, a slightly green pig anus in the right
Oh, I see
corner,
it now. I see
and
it.
you're like, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what was making this cloud. Yeah, so, yeah.
um, in the same level, I'm not gonna go through them all, but some highlights. The little pig built a brick house, and then he's like, "Ha ha ha! You can't, come at me, big bad wolf. You can't destroy the brick house." So you just unleash a wrecking ball on it. Huffing and puffing is the name of that one. It's not
Uh,
the big bad wolf you have to worry about. So they're clever. My
yeah.
my favorite one. It's it's not the most clever. It's honestly kind of dumb, but it cracked me up for so long. Um, the character I played as Mio in the one level becomes a giant like King Kong, like gorilla basically.
Uh,
So if your human form partner hops on a swing, as a human, you can push them on the swing. Because if you remember from the other games, there's tons of interactables in all the levels that don't do anything for the story or achievements. They're there. They're
mhm.
fun to interact with. But if you get a human on the swing and then you turn into King Kong and you push it, you just fling them right off the map and they die. And the achievement's called a friendly push, and the description is just monkey strong.
That's
And
pretty
we
good.
got that one by accident because I thought it would be hilarious. And turns out it was a cheat, and it just cracked me up. Monkey strong, you know.
Strong.
And Kelsey's like, "What the hell? Like you killed me!" And then we got the bleep bloop, and it was all worth it. But
Alright. The
yeah, the achievements are super fun, super clever, just for fully exploring the game and doing everything there is. You will get the full 1,000 gamer score. Nothing in it is missable. There's level select. There's actually what makes it even easier than level select is a checkpoint skip. So if you miss something at the end of a level, you don't even have to replay the whole level. You can just checkpoint skip up until that checkpoint, do what you got to do, and then everything saves in real time as you do it. So, that's nice. The only potentially very difficult achievement. I won't spoil too terribly much, but you have to go through this. If you lose a password, it's like, log into your email, enter these 6 digits, verify with a fingerprint, upload your ID, run to the corner. There's a guy there in a black coat's going to give you a 6 digit code that you can run back and then tell the phone operator, right? Like, I just want to log into my account. Like, please let me. But they make
Mhm.
it super hard. So you have a cell phone in game. One of you is driving and one of you is trying to hack into the phone, and it's going through all the, like, you have to in game, like, do the captcha codes, slide the puzzle piece, match your fingerprint, and there's an achievement for actually completing that in the given time. Truthfully, I don't know if the cutscene after is affected by that one because we have not gotten that one yet because the
Oh,
timing is super tight on that. You have 60 seconds and the guide says a perfect run will take you about 50 seconds. So not a lot of wiggle room
mm.
as you're dodging explosions and everything. It's not like you can just do that. So other than that one, everything is pretty easy and shouldn't give you much of a hard time. I would say with enough practice once you know like the first 10 steps, you probably got the timing down. But otherwise, a very fun, a very fair list. It currently has a 2.2 ratio. Again, I expect that to come down. It's about a 12 to 15 hour completion, according to TA. It might be a little longer if you fully explore. Like, I think that's the achievement rush.
Hmm.
Kelsey and I have played for 8 hours, and we are only halfway through the game, like level wise. So
Hmm.
I think we'll probably be closer to 20, but we are taking your time. We are having a ton of fun. And I know how much you love the TA star system. It has a 4.82. It has been very well received. It gets a 5 out of 5 in my book. I have had a blast. Kelsey has had a blast. Everyone we've talked to who has played it has had a blast. They knocked it out of the park for sure. Is it more of the same? Yes. Is that a bad thing? Not at all.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's. If I had a competent gaming partner that I could rely on, like you do, then yeah, I'd probably be picking this one up. If not, it'll probably just have to wait until a contest, and I'll probably play it with like Triple or someone. I don't know when he gets ready to G task again or whatever.
One more thing I want to add is I think A Way Out did it. I know It Takes Two did it. Kelsey and I play local split screen, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But if I buy the game, I can give you a friend pass so you can hop in my game, and I can do that with as many friends as I want. That is completely free. Only one person needs to own the game for two people online to play it. The only thing with that is if you don't own the game, you cannot unlock the achievements. So if you just want to play the game, find a friend who has it and play it. You won't get any achievements, but you will play the game for free basically because somebody else paid for it.
Hmm.
So that's
Okay.
maybe the only downside. I
Is
don't
it?
know how. I assume that would work with game share. Like if you play with your game share partner, technically you both have the license, so the achievement should unlock. But I'm talking about you have a friend. You don't have the license to the game. You do not own it. You don't home console it. In no capacity have you ever done anything with this game. I can invite you in, and you can play off of my copy. So pretty cool how they do that, honestly.
So if you own the game and you play with someone else that owns the game, then it unlocks on both consoles. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
The logic is it's a forced co-op game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Right.
buy it, and then I'm gonna play with my buddy who lives, across the country, and we can play together. But he didn't buy it, so he doesn't get the achievements. So it's this weird, like, are you paying for gamer score in an indirect, diabolical way, I suppose. But
Yeah,
so
very
yeah,
cool.
that's Split Fiction. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. According to the TA rating system in my book, Kelsey and I are having an absolute blast. And just another public shout out to my dear wife. She has no problems with jump, jump, dash grappling hook. She nails it every time.
That sounds like a
Now, if
keeper, man.
only she could learn to hit the target in the third person shooting sections, but that's asking far too much.
Yeah, let's not get greedy.
Right, let's not get greedy.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. That's I'm sure there's a lot of people that are interested in games like that have somewhat competent gaming partners or arrangements. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
for
one
sure.
of those.
Going through my friends list on It Takes Two and A Way Out, most everyone on my friends list has played it. So I assume once this one goes on sale, right now, actually, I have it up right now. Who on my friends list has played this right now? Oh, I was like, oh, I knew there was one name. It's Kelsey. Right now, no one on my friends list has played this except me and Kelsey. So it is $50. I assume once it goes on sale, some people will pick it up. I assume once it hits EA Access Game Pass, that's when people will,
Mhm.
sort of dive in. But I
It's
mean,
still, man, it's still got like 20,000 tracked gamers already. So that's
yeah, that's what I mean.
pretty.
Like people are very excited for this one.
Mhm.
My wife added it to the calendar, man. Like it's a big deal, and she's not even a gamer. So yeah, it's doing very well. It's being received very well. So if you liked It Takes Two, you will 100% you will enjoy Split Fiction. So That's my spiel on that one.
Awesome. Well, for me, I have a game that, much like you, I pre-ordered this game, and I haven't pre-ordered a game in a long, long time. I'm trying to think of the last game I pre-ordered. It just doesn't happen. And so I pre-ordered it, and I can't believe that I'm actually talking about this game over another game that I really like, but that's going to come in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, another game that I really like. But this one, man, I had to talk about it. So this one came to
Hang
my
on, can I tease this one like you teased mine? I don't
Sure.
have a natural, way to work it in like you did.
Uh-huh.
But when you think Elroy, I'm giving you guys a second to pause. Sorry, I introduced that poorly. Think about Elroy. What are the first 3 things that come to your mind? I will tell you my top 3. Granted, I know Elroy better than, a listener or a non-co-host would. Even if you're in the Discord, though, him posting his pictures, the top 3 things that come to my mind for Elroy are flexing and gains is number 1, cats is number 2, and teaching is number 3. And let me just say, 2 of those top 3 are very relevant for the game that he is about to talk about. And I assume it is the same 2 of the top 3 that you all think it's going to be. So, without further ado, Mr. Roy.
Very nice setup, yes. And there is a school stage on the game, so there you go. All right, so the wonderful game was brought to my attention by no other than Waka Bell. So thank you, Waka, for tagging me with the announcement of this game. It had not quite crossed my radar yet, but man, when it did,
you would have been so missing out, man.
I was so upset. It's bad when I'm playing the game on the couch and my lovely wife, we've established is not very good at video games. However, she does like looking up at them. She's like, "Wow, if you ever made a game, this would be the game you made."
This one?
She's
I'm
like,
telling you guys.
she's just laughing at it. So the game is no other than, and I do apologize. I probably will say it at least 10 different ways during the course of this. It is KinnikuNeku Neko, Super Muscle Cat. So that is.
He added some syllables to that. It's more like KinnikuNeku. It's probably KinnikuNeku, right? KinnikuNeku would be my guess.
KinnikuNeku.
But who cares? Super Muscle Cat.
Yeah, Super Muscle Cat. So that is the name of the game. So you know what you're in for. You would think, and if you're not quite sure, just look up the game and look at the concept art in the corner.
It does not even attempt to hide what it is.
No, there's it jumps right into it, and it is one of the most spectacular games I've played in a long time. It is really good. So this game, it's just came out. Again, I pre-ordered it, and so
this is the most recent game Elroy has ever spoken about.
Yeah,
ever.
I think so. Yes, it is. It's like under a week. It's insane. I
know, it's weird, man. Who are you?
I know.
You go to South America, you come or Central America, you come back a different gamer.
I know it. It's crazy, and I did. It's a platformer too. So, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Okay, so came out in March, about a week ago, and it's about 6-hour max completion with a little asterisk there. I'll have more on this asterisk in a second. It's got 2000 TA. It's like what you said, it'll go down soon, but it's got 13 achievements in it. Now, it's called KinnikuNeku. And I'm sorry, it's going to be a struggle, y'all. So I did decide to look it up, and the translation for KinnikuNeku is that's it in Japanese. In English, it's KinnikuNeku. So it translates to the exact same thing in English. However, that's because it's not a actual word. I did not realize it, but I did use my brain, and I remember them saying, calling the cat Neku. So I assumed KinnikuNeku was one word and Neku was another word. So I looked it up. Kinniku is muscle in Neku is the name of the cat. So muscle cat. Makes sense, right? So,
Okay.
all right. So here's the plot.
I was gonna say, but I didn't want to make a fool of myself. Neko at least has something to do with cat in Japan. I don't. Is it the word for cat? That I don't know.
No.
But there's an
Well,
anime
maybe
with
it is.
cat. Okay.
Maybe
Well,
it
I'm
is.
gonna
I
look that
didn't
up.
look up
There's
Neku,
an
but
anime with cat girls called Neko Para. So Neko
what's
and cat, they go
the
together somehow.
what's the good luck cats called? Aren't those something like that? The ones with the one paw up that are like the good luck cats. I think those are something. Maybe Neku.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. By
Yeah.
the way, I did just look it up. Cat in Japanese is Neko. That is the word for cat.
Oh, so muscle cat. Yeah, for sure.
People are probably laughing at us. Maybe everyone knew that. I knew it had something to do with, like I said, but it is the
Yeah.
word. Cat is Neko.
Okay, Maneki Neko is the cat with one paw up. It's the good luck cat that you see in like Japanese restaurants with it.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes the paw moves and everything. Now, sidebar. When I went to Japan, I bought a crap ton of those for Kelly because she likes them, and I found one where, get this, the Neko has a flex bicep arm. I kid you not.
Jeez.
I am going to. I'll put it in the chat.
Please do.
Don't let me forget. It's awesome. Okay, back to this game. Everyone, calm down. I know there's a lot going on here.
The hype is real, man.
I'm so excited for this game.
You're talking about By the way, Super Muscle Cat is in caps lock. It's not even just Super Muscle Cat. It's Super Muscle Cat.
That's it. That's the vibe of this game. I mean, it's good. It's so good. All right. So here's the plot. Okay. There's a bro. Dude has a pec vein. He has veins everywhere, man. Dude is ripped. Okay. We talked about pec veins in a previous level. I don't know if you remember that. That was a long time ago, several years ago. But he's ripped and dude has a cat head. Now you might think, well, how does this happen? So here's the plot. Aliens have invaded the Earth and they're wiping everyone out for reasons that I will let you play the game to find out. I don't want to, some spoilers here. And because I'm sure that if you play KinnikuNeku, you are playing it for the story. Now, there's a girl in this alley. She's being trapped by these soldiers. And so this cat jumps out and is going to defend her. So the soldiers are going to shoot the cat because that's, what you do. And so she pulls. Yeah, I know. And so she pulls out the underwear and she puts the underwear on the cat. And the cat's name was Neku. And so the underwear was magic, you see. And so he becomes KinnikuNeku, super muscle cat. And so then, I mean, the rest is just, it was what you
Who
probably
even cares
imagine.
about the rest with an intro like that?
So, yeah. So that's how he became who is, KinnikuNeku. He was just Neku. He was minding his own business. Now, interesting enough, you actually play as both. So that's the mechanic of the game, is that you have two characters that you're navigating through the game, but they're the same character, you see. So anytime there's like some interesting platforming that needs to be done, the chick pulls the underwear off of KinnikuNeku and then he transforms back into Neku and he's naked. But no,
that sounds really disturbing out of context.
Right. Right, she just rips off the underwear of this muscled up dude and he transforms into a little cat. And then, she calls him back over, she puts the underwear back on him and he's, he's KinnikuNeku again. All right. So that's the two characters that you play. So the completion for this game, it could probably be done. It's really borderline it's like a toddler game, let's be honest, but it can be done in like 3 to 4 hours, I would say, tops. I'm at 6 hours, but that's because of one issue, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's rough being one of the first people to play a game when there's no guides.
There's no guides.
Anything. There's nothing.
0 for 13.
Right, and there's nothing on other platforms because this game's out on Switch and PlayStation, is my understanding. And so, yeah, there's nothing. I looked everywhere for some help on this one thing, and I could not find a thing. Nothing on YouTube, nothing on any like Steam guides, or there's just nothing, man. So, but don't despair. Elroy's here for you. I'm going to give you the inside scoop. I'm going to tell you where to get all this stuff. So,
nice. Just before you go, looking at the descriptions, a lot of them they mean nothing. Like, like return the dogs to their kennel. We could figure that one out. Peek through the hotel windows. Okay, can figure that one out.
Yeah.
But then, like, what was the other one? Like reach the turtle's secret place.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a
Like the
guy. Yeah.
collectibles. Ooh, yeah. So a
Right.
guide.
Well,
I can see how a guide would come in handy for some of these.
Well, it's funny you say that because in Super Muscle Cat there are 13 achievements and 6 of them are missable. In fact, so
Okay.
you're not wrong. Or actually, I think five are missable. I don't know how the full classification of a missable achievement. I mean, if you don't do something, it's missable. But
I have
I
to
mean,
ask Bob: is it missable or is it hard missable?
yeah. Well, there's 5 that are right. There's 5 that are missable. I don't know
Love you,
one.
Bob.
But yeah, and 4 are story related, 2 are skill related, one's like a shop one. So the story ones, there's basically 4 boss battles, 1 achievement for resolving each of them. Now, a spoiler alert is that the last one you may have difficulty seeing the achievement pop, and that's because shortly before the battle, there's a real tearjerker. I mean, it was complete with slow motion flashbacks and everything. I mean, a real tearjerker. But I don't want to steer you away from Super Muscle Cat. But
Super muscle cat.
it has some heart in there. Just be ready for it. You're broing it out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, bro. Yeah, I mean it's bad. And, all right, so be ready for that. Prepare your emotions. Now, the boss battles, really the only challenging thing about this game is the boss battles. Now, the first one, it's just hard to know what to do. I was like, what the crap am I supposed to do? But basically, you have to just hit the dude, and then as he's falling into the pit, you got to jump on his little contraption. I didn't know that, you had to hit his contraption, and so he kept coming back until I was dead. So yeah, just hit his contraption as he's falling into the hole. The second and third one is moderately challenging. It takes a while to figure out the patterns. The third one is actually not that hard at all. You just wail on them, and you have enough health, and yeah, you can kill them before they get you. The third battle is actually pretty easy, but the last battle, man, it's actually 2 different battles, and it took some work. There was some timing issues where you had to kind of figure out how to avoid, because one of the battles is just an avoiding thing where you're just trying not to get hit by the different lasers and the different enemies falling and all this stuff. And yeah, it was a little rough. Everyone took me a little. I was trying to complete it in one day, and then the final boss broke me. I was like, I gotta go to bed. It's 11 o'clock.
Are you talking like bullet hell or like like 2D like Super Nintendo boss just shooting all the things?
No, it's more like if the boss is in the middle of the screen, and then like lines will go across the screen, and then you have about a second to adjust to where you're not standing on the lines, and then they turn into lasers.
Okay.
That kind of a thing. Yeah, it's not really. And then on the last one, they got things they're flinging at you while there's lasers doing that. So it's kind of you gotta. But you gotta stay nimble. So but yeah, so there's 2 skill related ones besides the bosses. The first one is called Neko Zeneger. Had to be careful on that one. Neko Zeneger. It is to get to max strength. Involves a lot of bench pressing. Yeah. So I like this achievement. As you might suspect, I'm no stranger to that world. But
sorry, I just need it's a play on Neko and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, yeah. Neko's
just to be clear, if there was any misunderstanding
right
for what Elroy was saying.
Yes, yes. Neko Zeneger.
It is Neko Schwarzenegger, Neko Zeneger, right?
Yes, that's
okay.
Yes,
we're good. We can move on. We're moving on.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. Now,
yes,
it involves
felt like I needed to.
I just wanted to get to the bench press. So, but yeah, you bench press a lot for this achievement, and in the Xbox world, that actually means you just mash the X button a lot and within a time frame. And so, like, for example, you get to one gym. So you got to find the gym, bro. And once you get into the gym, then there'll be like 3 benches, and then you got to, pump some iron there and, put up some reps. And once you finish the first one, then you jump on another bench that has a little bit heavier weights on it. And then on the third one, there's even more heavier weights, and you just got to keep, going for it. And so they kind of mix in the mechanic of like, you have to like smash like a computer to disable some lasers so you can get to the second bench press and things like that, where there's some time sensitive ones. It's not just bench then bench then bench. You got to mix it up a little bit. And there's 6 of those. and the last one is actually on stage 1. So you'll run by it and you'll see a rock that you can't break. So once you get the other 5, go back to that one, smash that rock, you'll find the last gem, and you'll have to bench like some dude benching or something. It's like this big fat alien, and you have to bench him while he's benching. So yeah.
Do we have like a pound number
No,
on what you're benching here?
It just gets more and more ridiculous. Like they start putting cars on there, and they start putting, like, yeah, it's just funny. It's funny. Yeah, they keep trying to make it more and more extreme. So yeah, it's pretty good. But anyway, you got to do all those, and that gets your strength level up to the max, which plays no bearing on the game that I can tell. Except for, oh wait, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think you get an extra life heart for every one that you do. I don't think I really noticed that as I was playing through the game, because it's not a super challenging game. But now that I think about it, I think I started or ended with more hearts than I started with. But there's a lot of checkpoints, so that's why the game's super easy. All you have to do is get to the checkpoint, and when you get hit, like, you flash for like a long time. You can like almost run halfway to the next checkpoint before you stop flashing. It seemed. I mean, it just like seems like that was very generous. The flashing after you get hit, and yeah, it's really not a super.
So is
challenging
that like
game.
a winning strategy? Just get hit and then beeline it.
Yeah,
to the right?
like seriously, like some stages, especially once you get more hearts, like because you hit a checkpoint and then you just die and you get full health again. So then there's no penalty for that. You just, like once you hit the checkpoint, just jump off, jump into the abyss and then get full health and then do rinse and repeat to the next one.
Do it again.
Right. It's not like the platforming, and it's not very challenging. Again, the bosses are like the only really challenging part, I guess, and then finding all the stuff, which I'm telling you where everything is. So if you don't want that, then I can skip ahead. But the other one is that's somewhat skill related is the professional dancer achievement, and that's for getting 100% dancing with Rika Chin, not to be confused with KinnikuNeku, which is the main person. Rika Chin is just some characters like basically
it's Hatsune Miku. It's literally Hatsune Miku.
I don't know what that is.
Miku-san.
Is that one of those wifey things?
Yeah, you gotta know Hatsune Miku. I probably have one sitting around here somewhere. I do.
I got the other one. I got the happy cat with the flexed arm, but it's not right here within arm's reach. It's going in the chat though, don't worry. But yeah, so this one it's like basically Guitar Hero, where they drop all the X, Y, A, and B's, and you got to hit it when it's at the line, kind of a thing. And so I did it the first time, and I realized that, man, it's been a long time since I played Guitar Hero, as evidenced by like my 59% trying to do it legit, and I have to get 100. It was bad, man. I was like, I got all frustrated. I forgot which button was which, and I was just like, man, that's just it'd be easier on a guitar, I guess. But when you're, I don't know, it's tough when you got the 4 buttons like right there. You forget which ones are which. But
I've said it in the past, but I'm not like an amazing guitarist or anything, but I am a pretty good guitarist.
Uh-huh.
I suck at Guitar Hero. Everyone assumes, oh, you're a musician. You play 14 instruments. You must be really good at Guitar Hero. Nope. Comically bad. And rhythm games in general, I am absurdly bad at.
Oh, man.
I can't. I have good rhythm. I can. I don't need a metronome when I play, but man, I cannot play rhythm games. So I sympathize with you entirely.
Well, the good news is that I'm very good at finding cheese methods, and so here you go. Just I told you I might help you out on this game. There's no guide, so if you want this achievement, here's what you got to do.
This is an AH 101 exclusive.
It is. I decided I'd dish the dirt here, and then eventually maybe I'll add some guides, but I want y'all to get some of the top completions on the game first. So here's what I'll say about the professional dancing achievement. There is no penalty for hitting the wrong button. Use that information wisely.
As long as you get the timing right.
Just mash the crap out of all 4 buttons for 2 minutes. There you go. You're going to get a workout in as well for for holding your hand in a weird claw type fashion and smashing down on 4 buttons at the same time, or 2 and 2, however you want to do it. yeah, it's a nice little workout. I think I broke a little bit of a sweat as I was doing it, but I got it second try doing that. So, but yeah, that's there's no penalty for hitting the wrong button. Just remember that. So don't be a hero. You don't have to do it the right way. Now, there's a cumulative one for Alien Nightmare for defeating 1,000 soldiers. You'll get that pretty naturally, but in case you want to do it faster, just load up the stage with the floating octopus things. There's this one part where there's 4 of them that you're supposed to bounce off of. That's one of your attacks, is that you jump attack and then it like bounces you so you can get to a higher level. And so you're supposed to use them to bounce up a ledge where there's no like pit to fall into. So it's just a free ledge and 4 octopus things, and you can just keep killing the 4 octopus things, and they'll keep respawning. So if you really want to get it fast, you could do it there. But yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's like one of the higher ratio achievements on the game. So I think some people, whatever. But the 5 missable ones. Now, here are the ones that I'm going to help you with. So first one, shepherd dog. Like you said, simple enough. Just there's a doghouse with some dogs in it. They're on the beach level and level 2. I think the beach level is level 6, if I'm not mistaken. But there's only two times the dogs make an appearance, and there's a changing station. And by changing station, I mean the chick rips off your underwear, and you switch. So you run from the dogs as Neku, and then you jump up to the ledge, and there she is waiting for you. She rips puts some underwear on you. And then all you have to do is turn around and just walk, and the dogs will go back into the kennel, and you're good. And then that's can be done. That's early on level 2, and then later on level 2 is the cowabunga one. That's the one where you have to find out where the turtles are at. So this actually, I think this one happens before this one actually happens before the dogs, and so it's kind of during the tutorial where you first see how you turn from Neku or into Neko from KinnikuNeku. So you're muscle cat and you turn into non-muscle cat, you see. And
there we go.
Yeah. And so you'll, as you're going down into this little thing, they're like, maybe you should go investigate that tree over there. And then when you drop down, then that's when she rips your underwear off for the first time in a secluded place. And then you'll see this little pizza off to the right, and you're like, well, that's interesting. What's that pizza doing over there? But that's where you want to go. That's where you find the turtles. And so what's mean is that there's a manhole cover with a tunnel leading right to it, right next to it. So don't spend 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out how to open that dang manhole cover. You're not going to do it. You're not going to open it.
It's not going to happen no matter how hard you try.
No, it's not. You can try every move, everything with both characters. Nothing is going to open that dang thing. So instead, keep progressing. And then when you get into the gym area, so this is the first gym, you'll be down below ground level. Jump up to the left of the gym entrance, and there's an invisible wall, and you walk over to the pizza, bleep bloop. So there you go. That is how you get that one. Now, the other one was Peeping Tom. That's on level 3. There's a bunch of windows. Some will open. The ones that are shaded are the ones to walk near, and they'll open. I mean, I don't understand why this one has a higher ratio than some of the other ones, but basically you just walk to all the shaded windows, they all open, and bleep bloop. I mean, I don't know. That one seemed really easy to me, but some people didn't. I don't know. It was a rare achievement, but
Love Is it Triumph. Still rare? Because you played it right when it came out.
I don't know. It's got a over 2 ratio, and this game is not.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's like one of the harder ones for some reason. Yeah. But and then Love Triumphs. This is actually the one that I think stumped a lot of people, is find all the lovebirds. So in the different stages, there's a bunch of aliens posing in a lovebird fashion, not to be confused with flexing as Super Muscle Cat, which there's a lot of, which is amazing. But he's got some moves, man. And when you find these aliens, you'll hear a bell, and that means it registered. So it'll be like, boom. It's like a wedding bell, I guess. I don't know. But I can't confirm it's a wedding bell or just a regular bell. It could be either one. I don't know. But most of them are easy. You'll find them super easy. There's only 2 that are challenging to find that I think are stumping people. The first one is on the dance floor stage right before you do the mash all 4 buttons at once trick. It's on the floor below the main, that floor where you do that. So it's like the second floor up, I forget. But as you're heading left, you'll see 2 aliens staring right into a wall, and you're like, that's odd. Why are they staring right into a wall? Well, that's your hint. You just basically walk through the
Nice.
wall. Now, I didn't put that together. I just got dumb luck and just actually walked. I forgot to stop, and I walked right through the wall, and there they were. I felt really lucky, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then when I returned back to the main area, I saw the 2 aliens staring into the wall. I was like, "Oh, there was my hint. I didn't even see it." So, but yeah, walk through the wall and you'll find it. So dumb luck, or maybe just take the hint. And so that one was kind of hard to find. And the other one that's hard to find is once you beat the game. So that's probably why it has a high ratio also, is because a lot of people haven't beaten the game. And you have to wait until you beat the game. And then when the credits roll, it has an interactive part where they're like scrolling the credits on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, you control Neku as he's just walking around city where all the characters, it's kind of like a say goodbye to all the characters kind of a thing. But you have to, don't dilly-dally, but beeline it to the right. And when you get to the very far right, that's where the last lovebirds are. So if you just play around,
that's kind of cool, actually. Though I like when games have interactive credits.
Yeah, that's
although I'm not really necessarily reading them, but you get me to not immediately hit skip.
Exactly. And so that's what this one, and they actually tied an achievement to it. See, and so if you just didn't do anything or thought it wasn't interactive, or if you just stayed in that little area without exploring, then you would think, okay. You would never find that last lovebird. You'd be like, I played the whole game, I can't find him. But anyway, that's where the last one is. And then the last achievement that's missable is called the collector. And this one has a special place in my heart because, oh my gosh, like I finished the game with like 4 hours, I think, maybe. I can't remember, but I finished it relatively quick. And then once you beat the game, I think, because I didn't see any of these when I was playing through the game regular, once you beat the game, 6 collectibles are distributed all over the map, and then you have to go find those. And they don't tell you anything about where they are, nor is there anything online that can help you with this, because Super Muscle Cat is still kind of new. And there are 6 of them, and they appear as a shadow outline in some gallery off of the main menu. So there's a pyramid, a horn, some underwear, like things that tie to the game. And
that still sounds really weird out of context.
A pyramid, a horn, and some underwear. Walk into a bar, and Super Muscle Cat happens. No, so, but I say they're found somewhat in order. But I say somewhat because here's what happened to me. So the first one is on stage 2. The third one is on stage 5, I thought. Well, it is, yeah. So there's 6 of them. So if you take them from left to right in that menu, the first one's on stage 2, this third one's on stage 5, the fourth one's on like stage 7, I think. It's at the school.
So there's not one per level, basically.
No, there's only 6 of them, and you don't know what stages they're on. But there's boss stages, so they're not on the boss stages. So
okay.
There's really not that many that it could be on, but there are ones that don't have any on them. So stage 2 is the first one. And then there's one in the swamp, which is stage 5. There's one at the school, which I believe is stage 7 or 8. And then the 5th one's at the beach, which I believe is 10. And then the last one is on the alien ship, which is 15. Now, what happened to the second one, you might ask? Well, that is exactly the problem I had. So the other ones went in order. It was like, 2, 5, 7, 10, 4, 15 or something like that. So you would think that the underwear would be somewhere on stage 3 or stage 4. And so, or stage 4 is a boss stage. So you would think, stage 3 has to have this on there. Just using your logic here. And I played stage 3 until I cannot stand stage 3 anymore. I know every inch of stage 3, every way you can possibly die, everywhere you can possibly go on that stage. I scoured that dang stage. I cannot find the underwear to save my life. And I even went back to stage 2.
Are they like hidden, or is it like obvious undies?
Well, that's it. Well, they're not super hidden, but I discovered that hidden wall, to find the lovebirds. So I thought, well, maybe
True.
maybe, yeah, something
So
like
you're
that.
just running into every wall in the game now.
I've touched every wall in stage 3 that you could possibly touch. I've died in every hole that you can possibly die. I've tried everything. And there's even like a weird part in stage 3 where there's this part that doesn't even really make sense. It's like this UFO that makes a big box, and you're like, okay, something is here. Why would they take a no, it's just there. There's
It's
nothing
just
else to it. It's just there, man. It doesn't really tie to the story. It doesn't. It just takes you down into the ground, and you just take it right back out, and there's nothing down there. Oh my God, I couldn't handle that. I was just like, it's got to be here. I mean, why would they put this in here? Why would it? And man, it was rough. So I wrote to a couple people on TA that had gotten
Did
it
you
to me.
really?
I did. There was only 4 people that had it, and I'm like, and so I picked the 2 that seemed like they would speak English, because one was just a bunch of Japanese symbols. So I assumed, I didn't know if he, spoke English or not. But so anyway, so I wrote to the 2 that I thought might write back, and I'm like, man, I explained my situation. I was like, I gotta find this underwear, man. I'm sure it's pretty fun.
Hang on. Just a random guy on TA and said, "Hey, man, show me where you got the underwear."
Yeah, I need this underwear, man. It's magic.
I need this underwear.
I am missing these magic
You have
underwear.
this underwear. I need it now.
I know you got these magic underwear. I need some magic underwear. Yeah. And so I did, and so the dude didn't write me back, or none of them wrote me back. And so I had a big plan of where I was going to search for this the underwear. And I mean, in the back of my brain, I wasn't too heartbroken, because that just means I got to play Super Muscle Cat even a little bit
Even
longer.
more.
Right. And so I had a plan. I thought, well, maybe they're in the final credits afterwards. So that was where I was going to check next. I was going to have to beat the main boss again. I was going to check the final credits, and then I was going to check. There's only 3 other places that it could have been. But finally, then as I was about to leave work today, all of a sudden I got an email notification. And I just was looking on TA. I was getting ready for the podcast, and I saw, I got a mail. And it was one of the guys. And so he told me which stages he had found them on. And I'm like, hey, say less. And I went. And so when I got home, I don't know if you remember, I sent you a text message that says there's something I got to do real quick.
Oh, that was it?
Yes. So.
You just finished this 10 seconds before we started recording.
I did. Once I knew what stage it was on, man, it's easy peasy, man. So they were just right out in the open. As soon as you touched it, it unlocked. So I had no need to finish the stage. And so I got my magic underwear. I'm wearing my magic underwear right now. Was it something that you
ran past 40 times?
No,
and just didn't notice?
It was on.
It was off the beaten path.
It was on either stage 11 or 12 there, but it wasn't in order. That was the thing, is I just had it in my mind. I had it in my mind because the other 5 were in order.
Why wouldn't you?
Right. So the second silhouette, if they go 2, 5, 7, 10, 15, why would the second silhouette not be on 3 or 4? Right. It doesn't. Right. So the underwear placement was what got me. So hey,
underwear placement has served me well in the past too.
It rode me hard, man.
What you will.
So I got my underwear under control. I got my magic underwear. So I do want to give a shout out to Zobiago. So thank you, Zobiago, for helping me with KinnikuNeku Neko magic underwear finding. I appreciate your help.
You keep adding more syllables every time you say it.
But yes, and so in my last act, as I am talking about this game, I am now going to go into the crappy TA rating system, and I am now going to give it a straight up 5. It is the first non-beat 'em up game I've given a 5 in a long time. There's a lot of firsts.
It sounds like a well-deserved 5.
Yes, it is now official. I have rated the game 5, and I am the 4th person to get the completion in the game. So not quite top 3, just missed the podium, but that's all right. I'll take number 4. So I am now finished with this game behind Zobiago, Hypno Slug, and some Japanese symbols. I don't know. So there you go.
Was it what I closed it out, I forget. $17.99. Was it worth the $18?
Oh my gosh, I got off easy on that one. I would have forked over at least 30 for it. Yeah. So granted, it's a baby game. I ended up with 5 hours 39 minutes in it, and it would have been less than that if I had found my magical underwear. But it's about the journey, not the destination. So yes,
Okay, so
it
what
was
he's saying
amazing.
is it sounds a little overpriced to me. Maybe wait for a
No,
sale.
what? No. And no, okay, if I gotta sell it further. So during the game,
Oh shoot, I'm sorry, guys.
KinnikuNeku, he talks. Now, what would you think that he would sound like? Maybe you played this. No, he yeah, they have both audio dialogue. I didn't skip any cutscenes in this game. I could have, but I did not
Do you
skip
hear in
it.
this game, developers?
I did
Make
not.
muscle cats, and Elroy will
I will
actually
watch it. I will watch them.
follow your whole story.
I watched all of the dang cutscenes. Kelly can attest because she was sitting there laughing as I was laughing at the game. But yes, so he does say a few words. All of them are 9999999, and so I was like, I was having flashbacks to Nyan Cat, or I guess,
Nyan cat, man.
or Nyan, or what? I guess it's Nyan. But
I always said
anyway, I
Nyan
was like,
cat.
why is it? Yeah, I will say Nyan, but I looked that up too. I assume you know what Nyan is. I didn't until I started piecing it together.
Oh, you know what? That one I actually don't know.
It means meow. So
Oh, does it
like,
really?
yeah. So I always wonder why it was called Nyan Cat, but yeah, it's Meow Cat or whatever. So with rainbows and
Shouldn't
Pop
it be
Tarts.
Nyan Neko though?
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone just calls him Nyan
Whatever.
Cat, but
I don't make the meme.
yeah, but it's like Nyan spelled all different ways. Like you would take meow and add extra W's. You know,
Oh, that's
they had extra N's. It's like
yeah.
nine. Yeah. So it's kind of like in any language, the animals make different noises. Like I forget what a rooster in Spanish makes like all kinds of weird noises. And it doesn't do cock-a-doodle doo. It does something else. I can't remember. But like all the animals do different noises and stuff. But yeah,
German dogs go mork mork mork.
Are you making it up or is that real?
No,
That's pretty good if it wasn't.
they don't bark, they mark.
Merc. Merc.
Mork mork mork.
So yeah, so in Japan, cats Nyan. They're Nyan. Yeah, it's a Nyan
Probably
cat.
Nyan.
Nyan. Yeah, I think that was
Nyan.
it. I looked it up. I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, but anyway, that's my experience with KinnikuNeku, Neko, and that's the last time you have to hear me say that. Super muscle cat.
So, like I said, when you think of Elroy, you think of muscles and cats. There you go.
Yeah, it was special. It was a special game for me. I don't
There you
stay up to. There's a lot of firsts with this game. I haven't pre-ordered a game in a long time. I haven't got a completion in a platformer in a long time, unless it was worth like 10 TA or something, and or 10 TAD. But yeah, a lot of firsts here. It was worth it. I stayed up to 11 o'clock playing this game, and I was tired for the next 2 days. So
it was worth it, I'm sure.
it was. I
Remember we talked about
immensely.
marathon gaming, and you just want to sit down and play your game. Hey, Elroy got to do it with Super Muscle Cat.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, oh gosh, it was so great. Oh, it was awesome. I hope there's a sequel. But yes, it was. I was feeling good after that one. That was good. So,
all
right. So, how about some baby games? Now that we've talked about some, muscled up cat games, we have.
All right. Well, 2 weeks ago with Joe, I mentioned that the Wallace and Gromit DLC for Power Wash Simulator had come out, and both Joe and myself were very confused, like why
That's
of all the things, like why Wallace and Gromit. And then Chewy, in fact, responded. I genuinely did not know this, so thank you, Chewy. He said Wallace and Gromit is quite popular in England, and I assume all of the UK and presumably, Europe. And Power Wash Sim is made by a Polish team, so that answers that mystery. This is more of an update combined with baby game chat, I guess. So anyway, I was behind. I love Power Wash Simulator. I know most people treat it as a chore every time. I enjoy it. It's relaxing. It's peaceful. It's helps me, unwind and de-stress. I'm all for it. So I was behind. I had to do Shrek, and then Wallace and Gromit was like, "Hey, this is a good time. I'll knock them both out." Oh my God, the Shrek DLC was the worst of the lot. The levels were just big open Just too many things. They overstayed their welcome. Like usually the DLC is like every other pack is like, 3 small levels and then like a medium thing and then like a big finale. And Shrek opens up with clean the entire city, which is just 4 walls and 2 lines of shade. It was just the same thing, just
Oh,
mirrored. It was boring to do the first half, and then it was even more boring to do the exact same thing on
oh.
the other half of town. Like I did not enjoy. I like Shrek, a big fan of the IP, but I did not enjoy the Shrek DLC. Uh, to drive my point home, and Kelsey can attest to this. She'll laugh at me. In my life, I have fallen asleep playing a video game 4 times. Like, actively playing, controller in my hand, I fall asleep. 3 of those times were within the past 2 weeks playing this damn Shrek Power Wash DLC. That's how boring these levels were. They were not keeping me engaged. They were not helping me relax. It was literally a tedious, boring chore to power wash these Shrek levels. That's a 0 out of 5 if I could do that. Shrek was terrible. Um, I regret those. Honestly, it was like 9 hours. Like they were just way too big, way too long. Didn't enjoy it. So then I was like, oh, Wallace and Gromit. Like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this at all. I don't even know the franchise. I'm grumpy. Shrek sucked. Wallace and Gromit was a blast. The little dialogue on the side was humorous. I assume I would have appreciated it more if I knew who Wallace and Gromit were. I have since learned that Wallace is a human and Gromit is a dog. I now know that.
Yep.
Um, yeah, see, I didn't know that.
It's like claymation, isn't it?
Yeah. I've looked it up actually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I do recognize that. I never would have come up with it on my own, but I do know who they are.
Mm.
But no, these levels were great. You clean the inside of their house. It's 2 very different, diverse rooms, and then you clean outside, and there's lots of goodies and obstacles and things for you to clean. And then you have to, I forget what the third one is, to be honest, but then you have to like clean like their vehicles, and then the last level you go to space, like, and you clean a giant rocket ship. Like it was cool. Every level was fun. Brought a different, unique challenge. None of them, I didn't fall asleep 3 times playing it 3 nights in a row. And yeah, Shrek took me 9 hours. Wallace and Gromit took me about 3.5. That's right, right on the money for a Power Wash Sim DLC. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and that is the last DLC there will be, in fact, for Power Washers. Sorry, that's actually not true. They're going to finish off the seasonal updates that they do. Those don't have achievements. Wallace and Gromit was the last paid DLC with achievements for
Really?
Power Wash Sim as they shift all their focus to Power Wash Sim 2, baby. Let's go.
Oh, no. Shoot. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows about Power Wash at this point. So I'm just going to add 2 things that you reminded me of, which is the Power Wash experience when that first came out was at Achievement Fest the first time I went. And I remember like I'd walk into Achievement Fest and all you heard, it sounded like a den of snakes, man. And like that's all you heard was just the water, and like it was everybody was playing. Like, you went to freaking Achievement Fest and you like clean crap. I mean, you played that. That was like the big game. Like everybody was playing that silly game. So I'll never forget that. And then the other one was when we were talking about Wallace and Gromit for Power Watch. I had the same reaction. I was like, what? Like, what? Well, that seems odd. And it reminded me of like weird crossover product placements. And when I was talking about what was it, those things you stick in your Crocs, not your crotch, but your
Oh my
Crocs,
gosh, what are they called?
giblets or something.
Yeah. No, that's not it. I know what you're talking. I think everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so but it was like breakfast cereal giblets or something. It was like or it was like scratch and sniff Crocs or something. Like I don't remember. Just the whole thing seemed weird. Like why you want your, and it was like count gibbets. Okay, I was close.
Gibbets.
I was close.
Yeah, you were.
And
Gibbets.
the it's like Count Chocula and like the Boo Berry and all. It's just like, why would you want your feet to smell like breakfast cereal? Or something? I know the whole thing
It smells better than feet. Come on,
it's so weird, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll never forget that. That's gonna take some time to beat that as the weirdest crossover product I've ever seen. So anyway, yeah, Wallace and Gromit.
I will say real quick, yeah, my last thing. Isrit posted while we were talking about it. He said, "Yeah, they had to go and end on the low point of Wallace and Gromit." And I replied and said, "Hey, spoiler alert. Joe and I talk about this in the podcast. I rescind that statement. Wallace and Gromit. I think the SpongeBob one was my favorite. Let's be honest. I'm a big SpongeBob fan. Wallace and Gromit, number 2, though. All the levels were very well done, and it did not overstay its welcome. So I think they ended on a high note. Shrek was the low. I'm so glad that wasn't the last one, because that would have left a very bitter, swampy taste in my mouth.
It sounds like Panama City water, man.
Yeah. Or, Iguana Island after Elroy's visited.
Indeed. Or what was it, Iguana Park for you?
Yeah, Iguana Park.
That's good times. Oh, man. So,
what baby game do you have? Even though you talked about a baby game, do we get... well, you talked about a toddler game, right?
Yeah. Well,
so now we get a baby game.
Well, this one's probably like almost like a toddler game. I don't know. It's it's like, is there something between a baby and a toddler? I don't even know. I don't have kids, so who knows? I'm sure there's something.
There's probably something.
Yeah. If you have kids, let us know in the chat. What is it?
Well, I feel like baby is like generic, like your toddler you'd still refer to as a baby, right? I'm thinking like what's between infant and toddler?
I don't know, man. A lot of work. Yeah. So
hey, I'm gonna AI this bad boy while you talk about your game here.
All right. Well, my wonderful game is no other than Ogre Tale. Ogre Tale is a double stacker that's available on the X and the non-X, and it's got 68 achievements in it. So again, it's not quite freshly frosted, but it's getting close. Man, you get an achievement for just about everything, and it's a 5 to 6 hour completion. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of boring. It's not challenging. It just takes a little while because there's a lot of stages and crap. But it's not like I really enjoyed this game a lot, but I kind of mention it because it's like what Wonder Blade is to Castle Crashers. So, spoiler alert, Wonder Blade is the Castle Crashers, sequel we never got. And the teaser, more on this next time. Yeah. 4:30 or 3:45. Yeah. Episode 3:45.
3:45.
We will be discussing this a little bit further as well. Now, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. It's a game came out. It's like a fake game, one of the arcade titles on 360. And I'm not like a super fan of the game or anything, but a lot of people are. It's like a bunch of like little girls that walk around and just beat up on a bunch of weird like Japanese monster things while making like...
So when you describe it that way, obviously it's right up my alley. But I had this one on my wish list for so long, waiting for it to go on sale, that it got delisted before it went on sale, and I never got to play it. It's right up my alley. I know the game you're talking about. I lack the means to play it because it got delisted because I was trying to be stingy.
Yeah, it was. I only got it because it's a beat 'em up, and I played through it, and yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's enjoyable, I guess. I mean, no, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I mean, it just takes a while. Other than, oh man, there's just one achievement where you got to fall. It's like you have to go through the entire stage, and then things blow up, and then you're falling off of a tall building, and you have to collect all the coins on the way down. Oh my God, that achievement can go to hell, man. That achievement is awful. I was trying to get the completion on this game, and I got stuck on that. I mean, you just get so tired of messing up, and then you have to spend like 10 minutes getting back to that state, that point, because there's no like immediate restart, or you can't, start immediately on it. You have to play through the stage, and then you get one shot at it, and if you miss it, well, you got another 10, 15 minutes to get to it. Oh my gosh, that achievement is brutal, man. And there's like all these guys, like they're like, yeah, I just put the pause button on like some, where you like automatic thing where it keeps clicking it, so it's like it's in slow motion, and that doesn't work. Nothing works, man. It's just brutal, that achievement. But anyway, so it put a bad taste in my mouth for this game. But yeah. But hey, you come to Achievement Flex, I'll have it right there on my 360 waiting for you. And I got all the DLC for it as well. So, and yeah, you're more than welcome to play it there. But yeah, the This one, it's humorous at times. It even makes fun of itself for being a Phantom Breaker ripoff, where they're talking about it. Like, what kind of game would do something like this? Like a Phantom
See,
Breaker?
that I love that because
Yeah,
Phantom Breaker is a fighting game, so they did that spinoff.
yeah.
Yeah, no, again, I know the game very well.
Okay, yeah. There
I
you go.
didn't get to play it, so
Well,
I'm salty that you're talking about this.
yeah, this one, you would probably enjoy it then because it really is just like the game. I mean, it's just same type things that you would do, and it's self-aware of what it is, and it's mindless, and it's a great game to play at night, or to just kind of zone out, or to keep your achievement streak alive, because Lord have mercy, you get 68 achievements to choose from. I mean, it's like they just keep popping. I don't know, man. But and there's a stack, so once you finish one, man, just fire up the next one, and you get whatever over 100 achievements for 2 little toddler games. But yeah, it's cool. So if you like Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds or always wanted to play it, there you go. Ogre Tale. It's basically the sequel, kind of like Wonder Blade is to Castle Crashers. So I don't even think it's related to Phantom Breakers. I don't think it's related in any way. Maybe it is, but yeah, it's plays just like it. So there you go.
All right, quick sidebar. It appears as if a remaster, I assume probably just a remaster, of Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds is coming out shortly. It actually had a release date of a month ago, but there are no updates.
Oh,
so I will finally get to play this game after all. That actually makes me very happy.
Wow.
I went to check what you got in it, and I actually clicked the wrong one. I accidentally clicked on the remaster.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
TA. Yeah, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate. It's got to be a port, right? So
I'd have to look at the achievements. I hope that there's nothing about.
Well, the achievements aren't live. There's literally no
there's nothing
updates other than it exists.
If
so
they
that's
put
cool.
that stupid coin one in there, oh my gosh. Oh, you'll understand.
I'll know what you're talking about. Also, to settle the debate from 4 minutes ago, infant applies from birth to approximately 12 months old, and toddler applies from 12 months to 36 months. So there is nothing in between infant and toddler.
What comes after toddler?
That's a great question. I don't have another AI prompt ready to go. What comes after toddler?
Our collective knowledge of children is so poor. Oh my gosh, it's
right. But bring 14 and up, like the high school level.
Yeah, we got this right. But how they get there? We don't know.
How they get there is a mystery.
Is it magic underwear? I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Preschool stage, according to Claude AI. Preschool stage comes after toddler from ages 3 to 5, and then early childhood 5 to 8.
Okay.
And then middle childhood, 9 to 11.
They're really overanalyzing
and then
this.
Preteen or tween, and then adolescence, and then young adult, and then welcome to real life, kiddo.
Right on. All right. Well, I did not ever even imagine that there would be more than like 4 of those. Now,
right?
So here we are. But yeah, well, welcome to real life, kiddo. There's going to be a lot of things, some good times, some bad times. And speaking of bad times, in Game Pass, or not Game Pass, but Xbox news, Ratalaika is losing some of its catalog. This is a first to my knowledge.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's big news, man. That's like the original.
Well, I wouldn't
game.
go that far, but
That's the original baby game catalog, man. There's leaderboards for that, and so if you don't get all these in before, you're going to be, you're never going to catch Waka, man. So. Yeah, so in case you didn't know, 6 games are being delisted from Ratalaika. Daggerhood, Gravity Duck, Infestor, that's with an F, not a V, Infestor, League of Evil, Outer
Terror. I hardly know her.
Outer Terror, didn't know her either. And Royal...
that one actually works.
Yeah. And then Royal Frontier. So, and then there's one Delta Squad as well, but they're leaving into March, into April, so you might want to get them done. Somewhere I thought it said that they were disabling their achievements, but I don't see that in the story anymore, because I was a little concerned that, like, I own all these games. I just bought Outer Terror, but I haven't played it yet. But I thought they were going to remove the achievements too. So I was going to play it real fast. That was going to be my next game actually, but
I don't
I don't
see how they
see it.
could do that.
I swear it said that in the initial story that they were yanking the achievements also, but yeah, I
Maybe
don't.
just the achievements will no longer, like, you can't buy the game
Well, they're
or something
being
like that?
they're being delisted, but I don't know. It was weird. I'd
I don't
never seen
I
that.
mean, achievements don't get discontinued when the game's delisted, unless, like, the server goes down,
Right.
but in a single
Yeah.
player game,
Well, that's
that
why I
shouldn't
was
matter.
curious. Yeah, I swear it said
Interesting.
that where
If you know what Elroy is talking about,
no, maybe I
please let us know on behalf of the entire community here.
right. I'm gonna play the last one. I have all the gamer score in the other ones, but I'm gonna play Out of Terror. Like try to get it before the end of March, just in case. I swear I saw
Just to
that,
be
but
safe, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how that's even a thing because I mean, Ratalaika games aren't gonna have servers with But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. That's gonna be my next game to play, and it's actually a 5 to 6 hour completion, but anyhow, you might want to buy them at minimum, and then see what happens to the ones that go down in March, and see if the achievements are defunct or not, and then quickly play the other ones before April ends. So, yeah. But anyway, that was that. It made me a little sad because Ratalaika had an intact library, and now it's a little dinged up, man. So that's not cool.
It's like the end of an era
Yeah.
in a way.
I mean, they made baby games cool, man. Them and the old hamster ACA games. They
I was
were,
gonna say, yep, the
yeah.
Neo Geo
The
ACA.
the gentleman's 740 or
The
yeah.
What was 720? The Gentleman's 720.
720. That's it. Gentleman's 720.
I love that still gets what has that been? Like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
People are still referencing the Gentleman's 720.
That's it, man.
Our
Yeah.
finest contributions to the internet.
Indeed. Oh goodness. Well, did you have any news updates to go along with this terrible news about Ratalaika?
No, I do not have anything particularly noteworthy. Even if I did, it would pale in comparison to the loss that, we are suffering.
Indeed, man. I mean, those are some of the games that got us all hooked, man. I mean, those are like some of the initial, it was our first it was our gateway drug, if you will, man. Now
Oh
look,
yeah, absolutely.
and now
Like,
look where we
you know,
are.
Ratalaika had a big part to play on my quest
Exactly.
to my million.
Exactly. So, yeah. So it's a little sad to see those go. As far as the games themselves, though, I mean, League of Evil is about the only one that I thought was, substantial. It was just kind of enjoyable. It was a plat failure, but it worked for me for some reason. So, yeah, I don't know, but
Was that the really actually hard one?
I thought it was, but I'm not very good at plat failures. But
Okay, I
I
think
got through it. Yeah, it's a 3 to 4
it
hour
didn't click
achieve.
the first time you said it. I think that was the one I fired it up like, "Oh, here's my weekly rat,"
Yeah,
and I couldn't get the first achievement. I'm like, I just noped out. Like,
yeah.
that was pretty early on. I decided, like, yeah, I'm not going for the Ratalaika series completion here because
Yeah,
of that one game.
yeah, it was I mean, I thought it
It
was
had if it had the briefcases,
yep, that's it. That's
that's
it.
the one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when I
I think
fa
the first achievement is like find the first briefcase, and I literally I couldn't do the platform to get the very first one. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
yeah, when I thought I was just gonna, fall out of bed and get myself a completion on this game, and it's not how that played out. Yeah, I had to go back and put some time in on this one. I started in 2018, and then I finally got back to finishing in 2020. So it took me 2 years to bounce back. But yeah, it's 300 tad, which is substantial for a rat
For a rat, for sure, yeah.
that's 7 years old. So yeah. Anyway, but what about some milestones? I mean, that's almost a milestone itself that Rat Lake gets
Yeah.
been around for 7 years. Lord have
Jeez.
mercy. Where's the
I
time go?
do actually. I have a trifecta here. So
Ooh.
M's Fergie at the same time. None of these numbers themselves are things that I would normally report on. As I've said, I like nice even numbers, but the trifecta is pretty cool here. So M's Fergie at the same time, 1,095 completed games, 2,670,000 TA,
Mhm.
and 1,840,000 gamer score. Again, weird, obscure numbers, but hey, a trifecta. That's pretty cool. A game milestone, a TA milestone, and a gamer score milestone. All in one. We love it.
That is kind of cool where you hit all three at once. That's I like that. Well, for me, not I want to give a shout out to ElroyOMJ, the fourth person to finish KinnikuNeku. No, well, I am proud of that, but that's not my milestone for the week. It's actually the before mentioned Isrit. He makes another appearance, another shout out. He is now top 5 on a very exclusive leaderboard. That leaderboard is no other than the Foof's Ridiculous Annual Challenge 2019.
Jeez.
Yes, he is moved into the number 5 spot. He has passed Mutations, and he is now top 5 on the Foof's Ridiculous Annual Challenge 2019 leaderboard. So congrats to Isret for this big accomplishment. I reached out to him, and he said, "Send me Mortal Kombat stuff, smile."
That sounds about right for Isret.
Okay, I might have made that up that I reached out to him, but that's what his current...
if you did reach out to him, he totally would have said, "Send me Mortal Kombat stuff."
I will reach out to him, and I will give you the update if he says, "Send me Mortal Kombat stuff." Smile. So, all right.
Right, smile.
Well, I think that takes us to the end.
Class dismissed. Top 3 things not to do on a South or Central American vacation. Number 3, drink the rural water. Number 2, eat ham that has been out in the hot sun all day. And number 1, visit any iguana-themed location after your ENE co-hosts have visited it.
That's so good. That's so good. Oh, man. I can't hang with that. But top 3 weightlifting poses KinnikuNeku performs in the game KinnikuNeku Super Muscle Cat. Number 3, side chest. Number 2, front double bicep. And number 1, vacuum pose. If you don't know what the vacuum pose is, it's pretty
I kind of was waiting for an explanation. What is the vacuum pose?
It's the one where you kind of put your hands up over your head and you kind of show off the lats and the abs, kind of a thing.
Okay,
I don't know why
Elroy just modeled it for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do they call it the vacuum pose?
I don't know. It's just the vacuum pose. So
I just call this big stretch. That's what I call this one.
Well, yeah. Well, it was a joy to be back to talk about these wonderful games. So I guess we'll be back in 2 weeks, and hopefully by then everyone will use all these wonderful tips, and we'll have several completions on KinnikuNeku. Neko. Man, we covered a lot of ground, didn't we? See ya.
See ya.
KinnikuNeku, Nyan, 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 Nyan.